Hello everyone. Another review and merch search for you today. This time it's LEGO Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy. It's a Disney Plus miniseries. Since it's not a feature film, no trip to the movies today. So instead, we are doing a merch search at this LEGO store. Perfect place to find LEGO merch. And find it we did. LEGO Star Wars abounded at this LEGO store. First, in this seasonal display, we had an advent calendar for Star Wars and Christmas, combining the two concepts together. And here is the Millennium Falcon, a classic LEGO Millennium Falcon. And the advantage of a LEGO store is that they have some already built on display. Here's the Falcon right there on display. And another display here of some sets from other Star Wars shows. There has a lot here. Some from Ahsoka here. And right here you see just what we were looking for. These are the Rebuild the Galaxy branded LEGO sets. Right there, Rebuild the Galaxy. So there's a Jedi Starfighter and the Dark Falcon from the series. And then here's another one. A X-Wing and TIE Fighter set. But you can change it around to some of the mixed up designs you see in the series. Oh, this one's very cool. A LEGO model of the Mos Eisley Cantina. We see some of the other displays of fully built ones. Destroyer droids, some pod racers. And here are some just sort of goofy droid designs. Speaking of droids, here's a very cool R2-D2. And right next to R2 is a Clone Trooper helmet. More droids. Oh, I like this one a lot. The Sarlacc pit scene. That's a really cool one. And we see some ships. One from the Mandalorian. A Republic cruiser there from the prequels. Or AT-AT. And you'll see here classic starfighters, X-Wing fighter, and a TIE interceptor. I believe that's Darth Maul's ship, if I'm not mistaken. And a corridor scene for Darth Vader there. And the classic Imperial class Star Destroyer. So cool. And here's like a mech suit you can build for Luke. That's the thing about LEGO. Anything goes. And then these are brick heads, which I think are sort of like LEGO's answer to Funko Pops. So that's pretty much it for the merch search this time, because I think it was pretty much one-stop shopping. That LEGO store pretty much had whatever you would look for with regards to LEGO Star Wars merchandise, especially for Rebuild the Galaxy. I frankly didn't even expect there to be specifically Rebuild the Galaxy branded merchandise, but we found it there. So I'll call that a win.
Time it is. Review the series, you must.
Well, I'm not going to argue with Master Yoda, so may the Force be with you, and on with the show. LEGO Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy, a 4-episode Disney Plus animated miniseries, tells the story of Sig, a nerf herder who loves to spend his free time telling the stories of the galaxy's greatest heroes to anyone who will listen. When his adventurous brother Dev learns that Sig has been hiding Force abilities, he encourages him to use those abilities to help the galaxy. But Sig is content to just tell stories of heroes, and has no desire to become one himself. Later, Sig and Dev stumble onto a secret Jedi temple dedicated to a little-known sect of the Jedi Order known as Jedi Builders. Inside the temple, a strange, glowing Lego piece embedded in a wall catches their eye. Dev goads Sig into pulling the piece out of the wall using the Force. Once he does so, the temple collapses. Sig soon learns that the glowing piece was a Jedi Builder artifact called the Cornerstone. Removing it destabilized the fabric of reality, causing it to break apart and remake itself. The past Sig knew is gone. Now his adventurous and supportive brother has been transformed into the Sith Lord ruling the galaxy. The galaxy's greatest hero, Luke Skywalker, voiced again by Mark Hamill, is now a scoundrel who uses the Force to cheat at pod racing. Clone troopers are now clones of Admiral Akbar. Darth Vader is a naively optimistic member of the Jedi Council. And the most feared mercenary for hire in the galaxy is C-3PO. Sig is soon confronted by the Jedi Temple's guardian, Jedi Bob, who mentors Sig and sets him on a quest to set the galaxy right again. The series does a good job of melding together two franchises, LEGO and Star Wars. It introduces previously secret sects of Jedi and Sith, namely Jedi Builders and Sith Breakers, that expand on Star Wars lore in a way that only makes sense in a universe made of LEGO bricks. This way, it's able to tell a story with all the elements of Star Wars in a way that only LEGO can. The fact that Legos are toys is used to the advantage of the story. The story is, of course, not part of the official Star Wars canon and not meant to be taken too seriously. It's an exercise in having fun with the Star Wars universe. It takes inspiration from established Star Wars stories and then sees how far imagination can take you from there. When the audience sees this being played out with toys, it invokes the memory of imaginative play with toys, both for the kids in the audience and for any nostalgic adults. So the audience has an instinctual understanding of the rules, or rather, that there are no rules. When everything is LEGO, anything goes. While the story isn't meant to be taken seriously, if you read between the lines, you can see mild meta-commentary in the writing about the current state of the Star Wars franchise and what it's like to be a Star Wars fan today. The theme of the story is about change and finding positive ways to deal with change. And Star Wars has changed in recent years. Some changes have been good. The new movies and series that have come along have given us opportunities to revisit some of our favorite characters and actors, and they've opened up and fleshed out new corners of the Star Wars universe. But some changes have not been well received by fans. The implied happy ending for the galaxy and its heroes in Return of the Jedi was undone by the sequel trilogy. Luke Skywalker's importance as the last of the Jedi has been diluted by news stories that revealed that, while still somewhat rare, there are a number of other Jedi who survived the Jedi Purge who can also serve to pass the torch of the Jedi to a new generation. And the franchise can no longer be counted on to always tell epic morality tales about the forces of good fighting valiantly to defeat the forces of evil in a galaxy far, far away, thanks to series like Andor and The Acolyte, that delve into the gray areas and tell tales of moral ambiguity. The moral of Rebuild the Galaxy is that sometimes things change, and sometimes those changes are for the better, and sometimes they're not. We may not be able to reverse those changes, but we can find positive ways to react to those changes and move forward in a better way. So, in a way, it serves as a nod to Star Wars fans who haven't been satisfied with the state of the franchise lately, and it encourages them to be optimistic. Star Wars will never go back to what it was years ago, but it's not going to stay where it is now either. Its future hasn't been written yet, and like playing with Legos, the future of Star Wars is only limited by the imagination. Is Rebuild the Galaxy a must-see Star Wars experience? It's better described as a pleasant, light entertainment experience. I think kids will like it, and I think adults who have an appreciation for both franchises, the wholesome charm of LEGO, and the fantasy and adventure of Star Wars, will find it an enjoyable time as well.